Welcome to Starbridge Center's small video series, Prophecy. Prophecy combines what we have covered in the other videos, the law of projection, the law of resonance, and the group chakra. So, in order to understand that prophecy is at all possible, we have to understand a bit about how humans work and how reality works. So first of all, we are much more interconnected than we normally acknowledge. Just as an example, I think I've touched in one of the other videos. Have you ever tried to be in a room and then noticing how the feel is in that room, and somebody enters and that whole feel is different? Nobody did anything other than somebody entered the room. So we affect each other much more than just having opinions or not opinions and whatnot. Our energies are interconnected. So a simple way of utilizing this, if you know you feel before you enter a room, and then monitor how you feel when you enter, there will be a difference. That difference is caused by the energy in the room. So you will know something about that energy. Prophecy works somewhat similar. If we give an analogy, if you stand at ground level with some clarity, and you don't need new glasses, and you are not preoccupied and so on, you will be able to observe a fair bit of what's going on. You can see what or who is around you. You can see what they are doing, that type of thing. So you'll have a fairly good idea. Nevertheless, if we then imagined that you went up in a multi-story tower, just one story up, and your perspective is much bigger. Let us assume that in this tower you can see the whole way around. So your horizon has widened dramatically. So maybe you can see that yes, we have this group of people, but there's another group of people doing something completely different, and they are approaching your group. So in other words, the dynamic of this group is soon going to change. That is a certainty. You can see that already first floor. Well, then you move one floor up, and what do you see? There's another group coming from a slightly different angle, and they are walking much faster. So they will come to the former group before they come to your group. So maybe the people approaching your group will never get there because they will be preoccupied with the other group. That is again a certainty from the second floor. To make matters worse, there's more floors here. You go one story up again, and you see there's another group that is approaching the second group. So the second group will never reach the group that was on the way to the group that is on the way to you. So maybe the group on the way to you will come to you anyway. Confusing, eh? Prophecy is like that. So what we can see is dependent on what story we are on. How far up the ladder are we? This is an easy principle. The problem is we may not know how far up we are. So prophecy has to be taken with a grain of salt, which does not mean that it does not exist, just that it follows laws that require a good deal of soul search in order to trust it. Another annoying reality is that you may see an absolutely clear image. What is approaching is an earthquake. Well, frankly, you don't know, is this measurable on a seismograph? In other words, an actual earth shaking somewhere? Or is it symbolic? People shaking in their beliefs or in their everyday stuff? In other words, there's nothing on the seismograph. The astral, where these type of images reside, is like that. You never know. Is this literal? Is it symbolic? Annoying but true. So what story are you on? Is it symbolic or is it concrete? And the last subjective factor. Can you actually trust what you see? Or are you projecting? An amazing amount of clairvoyants, or people that have visited clairvoyants, talk about how they have been famous people in their past lives. Or indeed, they have been victims in their past life. For some reason, it's fashionable to be either a famous person or a victim. It's not common that the people come from a clairvoyant and realize they have been a bastard in a previous life. It's not common people come from a clairvoyant and realize they were an absolutely ordinary person in past life. So, our viewing is biased. If nobody reincarnates as bastards, well then there wouldn't be any bastards in the world. And that's unfortunately easy to see that that's not the case. So, prophecy exists and is a treacherous game. You have to make sure that you actually are game to see what is true. The rule of thumb is, you see what you want to see. You may not see what is there, both good and bad stuff. Nevertheless, being able to listen to our inner voice is sometimes life-saving. And often we don't know why. In my early 20s, I'm from Denmark, I was once walking down a street, a Danish winter in Copenhagen. And I didn't look up, I was in my own thoughts in a well-known area. I was walking towards a shop, so I didn't think. But for some reason, I all of a sudden just felt I should move to the other side of the street. I did, and hardly had I come onto the other side of the street before a huge icicle, 2 meters long, fell where I stood just before. Then I looked and realized that there was hanging long icicles from the roof. And obviously one of them fell off and could have killed me instantly. So sometimes it's a very good idea to listen to intuition, to prophecy, to guidance. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that we listen to guidance without actually also using our intelligence. So guidance plus grounding plus integrity would be very good support in a world full of change. The world you are in right now. Thank you.